Hi, welcome to Karmic Creations, Crystals and Tarot. Today we're going to talk about another crystal. Last week we talked about shungite. This week we're going to talk about lepidolite. Lepidolite is a mica stone, which means that it is very soft on the hardness scale. Definitely not a stone that you want to just put in your purse and carry around with you and get knocked around all day, or something you don't want to take care of. This is available in rough cut, like this one is. This is rough, how it looks, how it comes from the earth. You can also get polished stones like palm stones, or just little stones you can wear. You can also get them in bead form. At my Karmic Creations Facebook page, Karmic Creations 17, I carry lepidolite bracelets with hematite on them, and they tend to stand up pretty good with the bead form. But anyway, let's talk about lepidolite and what it would do for you. Before we do that, as I've said before in my videos, I do not recommend choosing crystal healing over medical treatment. Under no circumstances, if you are sick and you need a doctor, absolutely see a doctor, get the help that you need. But right now we're going to talk about lepidolite and what it can do for you. Lepidolite's a purple stone. Because it's a purple stone, it's associated with your third eye, can also be associated with your crown chakra. But let's talk about it in the third eye sense right now. Lepidolite is a stone that's going to ease anxiety, but it's also a stone that's going to help you build your intuition. If you are someone who is having a lot of panic attacks, having racing thoughts, not being able to focus, have this feeling of dread, lepidolite's going to help draw you to the light. It's going to help get rid of those feelings. It's going to help ease your anxiety. Everything that comes from the earth has a natural vibration. Your body is made of natural vibrations also. So when you're having anxiety, when you're having panic, when something's off within your body, it's considered issues in your tissues. So you can balance the vibrations in your body by holding a crystal. And if the crystal is programmed to work with that part of your body, it's going to ease what's wrong. An example of this is with anxiety. So when you're drawn to purple stones or purple in general, it's a sign that you are ready for the spiritual awakening. You're ready to start trusting your intuition. I first noticed the connection between purple and middle-aged women. And I can say that now because somehow I became a middle-aged woman. I'm not sure when it happened, but it's here. So when I was about 16 years old, I worked in a mall, a local mall, and I worked at a jewelry store. And I noticed that when the wintertime came, almost all of the women in their mid-40s and early 50s were wearing purple jackets. Never seen anything like it. No other age group was wearing purple jackets, but those women 40 to 50, they were wearing purple winter coats. And I thought it was a little odd, but I didn't think much about it until years later when I started looking at how people are drawn to things that they need in their lives. So when you get into your mid-40s and early 50s, it's when you start your spiritual awakening, when you start coming to the conclusion that there's more to life than just you. There's more than just this world that we live in, and that you start seeking a connection to the other side. You also start not caring what other people think, but that's a whole different story. So when you're drawn to purple, it's because you are just so needing to trust your intuition, to build your psychic ability, to know things that you might not know otherwise. So it's really important that we look at things that can help us. And one of the things that can help you is this purple stone. A lot of times when people have anxiety, their anxiety is stemming from the unknown. And a lot of times people don't know where their anxiety is coming from, why they're having anxiety. If you have anxiety and you are drawn to the color purple, your anxiety is stemming from the fact that your intuition is screaming at you and you're not trusting it. So by wearing that purple, it's going to boost your third eye, which is your intuition. By holding the lepidolite, by getting purple stones like amethyst or lepidolite, it's going to boost your intuition. So if you are someone with anxiety who is also drawn to the color purple, this is a stone for you. Lepidolite is the way to go. It's going to give you everything that you need to calm yourself, to calm your anxiety, but at the same time, it's going to boost your intuition. The purpose of these videos are not for them to take forever. I don't want people to have to sit and listen to me talk for hours. That's why I don't listen to podcasts. People get on podcasts and they talk for like 3 hours. I do not have that attention span, and I do not have that kind of time. So, anxiety, Lepidolite, you'll be good to go. The second part of this is tarot, and talking about tarot cards and learning what the different cards mean. So each week I'm going to do a different tarot card. I'm going to be using this deck. This is the Rider-Waite deck, which is it's kind of like the basic of tarot. It is where tarot really came into the mainstream, was through the Rider-Waite deck. Years ago, when people did fortune telling through tarot, they didn't have decks like this. They would actually use regular playing cards. So now we're lucky we have the Rider-Waite. We have several other tarot decks also, so you can choose something that you're drawn to. But what's good about the Rider-Waite deck is because it's a standard. So anybody who has the Rider-Waite deck is going to recognize the pictures in it and know what they mean. I've been reading tarot for 12 years now. I got my first tarot deck in 2013, and I actually got it at a flea market in Florida over Christmas. And I just thought it would be fun to read about. So one thing I've learned about tarot through the years and through my tarot training is that you do not have to be psychic to read tarot. You don't even have to be intuitive to read tarot. It helps, but you don't have to be. What I tell people when I do tarot readings for them is that, number one, I am not psychic. I don't pretend to be. I am an intuitive, so I do know things that other people might not know. Sometimes I choose to share the things I know. Sometimes I choose not to, and kind of let people see how things play out on their own. I don't pretend to know everything, because I don't. But the tarot tells its own story. So the first thing that I do when I have my tarot decks, and I've got so many tarot decks, but I'm going to keep it the Rider-Waite to keep it simple. The first thing I do is I shuffle the cards. When you shuffle the cards, you know that the cards are ready to be read when you can't shuffle them anymore. So you can see how they're pretty easily going in, but after a few more shuffles, they'll get stuck, and then I won't be able to shuffle them. So this is what I'm doing. As you can see, it's much harder right now to get them through, so I think that the deck is ready. I'm not going to do a card for any particular person because obviously I don't know who you are or what you're listening. But thing I do after I shuffle is I divide the cards into 3 piles. And then I just put them back together however I feel like they fit. Really simple, easy peasy, not a lot to it. Some people say that intuition and fortune telling and psychic ability, it's passed down through generations. As I said, I am intuitive. I do know things. Our family found out about 10 years ago that our great-grandfather, I think it's 8 times back, was hung in the Salem witch trials for fortune telling. So it's something that kind of carried on through the generations in our family. But regardless, we're going to pick a tarot card. I'm going to pick from the top. I've done my shuffling. I've separated my deck. I've put it back together. And now, this is the card that I pick. This is my least favorite card in the tarot. My least favorite one. The 3 of Swords. This is the closest to a death card that is in the entire tarot deck. It can be read a couple of different ways. You can look at a tarot card and you can interpret it by the number on it. It's a number 3. Swords correspond with an air sign, and generally with swords, things move fairly quickly. So this can be read, in my mind, 2 different ways. I can read it as a health card, or I can read it as a love card. If I was reading this as a health card and this came up in someone's reading, I would simply tell that person, go see a doctor. Get a full body check, full body physical. Every test they offer you, do it. Because I'm not going to tell the person something's wrong because you don't want to manifest bad. However, if you get this card in a reading, do not let anyone tell you that you're about to have a really happy ending, because you're not. So, I hate this card. I'm really disappointed that it came out when I'm doing this for the first time. However, this is a card that is get yourself to a doctor. If we're talking about love, let's think about this, okay? There are 3 swords and 1 heart. So, if you are in a relationship, you are the only one that is committed in that relationship. Whoever you are with, sorry love, they're cheating. And this card is screaming that they're about to break your heart. Or they're already breaking your heart and you just don't know it. So, sorry for it to be a dismal card. Maybe next week we'll have a more positive card, but this is the card that came at the top of the deck. So this is the card that the tarot wanted me to share with you today. I'll be doing videos every Sunday. So check in next week for more crystal and tarot. Take care. Have a great week.